Okay, now we're going to go to being testable. Not everybody is testable. That's why I was telling Dr. Morgan, I said, you know, I can't go out in public and ask somebody if I can use their arm so I can see if I can eat this food. And I said, plus they're probably not testable. And we talked about that. Being low in minerals, excuse me, he would bring out, sometimes I'd go in and I wouldn't be testable. So you're low in minerals. And so he just had me hold a bottle of minerals and then he'd test me and I'd be fine and then we could go on. Didn't even have to put them inside of me. That's what's so amazing. You know, the body knows. If it's something good for you, you'll be strong. And if it's not, you're going to go weak. If you're strong, you know you're connected to heaven, and if you're weak, you're connected to hell. That's about all I can say is what about testing does. So we want to make sure we're strong. We want to stay connected to the higher power. There's many ways that you can test to see. You might say, well, maybe I'm not able to muscle test myself because I am not testable. So one thing you can do is just by gently rubbing straight down on your third eye, that will make you testable. That will make you strong. You go up, that can make you weak. So, but you always rub straight down, and then you test, and that makes you strong. Okay, another way is to see if your polarity can get switched. Now, this is a polarity test. Placing your hand right on top of your head, that is positive. Hands turns up. The other way, it's negative. It will always be like that, positive, negative. You cannot hold your finger strong when it's on the negative side. So that's another way. You need to say, okay. Also, our brain becomes switched. And when you have I know you woke up today, you just feel like you're in a fog and you can't pull it together and you're running around and, you know, you feel tired. Just sometimes when that happens, you can touch here, and if your finger goes weak, you know your brain has switched. So what you do to get that back is you start thumping your thymus. And I used to stand in line at the grocery store and I'd be thumping my thymus because Dr. Morgan said, this will make you happy, this will get you centered, this will get you grounded. And it's our happy spot. So anyway, so thumping your thymus throughout the day, that'll get you back up, get you feeling good, kind of pull you back, you know, focus. Another way to get grounded is humming. So do a lot of humming. If you're feeling scattered and you're out there and everything, you want to do some humming. Okay, let me see.
Lattes?
Okay. Remember, low in minerals, also low in water. You need plenty of water to be testable. So, you know, you got to make sure of these things. These are little things that you can do for yourself. And but the most wonderful thing about learning this is it will connect you to your inner guidance. You will become so much more intuitive. Now, I'm at the point, before I even start the muscle test, the answer comes in my mind. In fact, I always ask my inner guidance, my inner child, you know, she wants to dress me every morning, so I have to get up and see what she wants in the closet, and I'll pull stuff out. No, she doesn't like that. Or I'll put something on, and I'll go, oh, I want to wear this, and she'll go, no. And I said, so I'll take it off. So I had thought of a jacket I wanted to wear, and I went to get it, and I thought, oh, I think I'll wear this one. And as soon as I did, I said, okay, and I got a name. Okay, I know you want to wear that one. So, but as long as I am listening to her, things work for me. I feel happy. I know I look good. I've got my act together, and I'm allowing her to be a part of. I say her, the subconscious mind is a child. It's only 3 or 4 years old. The oldest I've ever muscle tested or found is maybe up to 7 years. But really, most of them are just, You realize this is what's running your life, a 3 or 4-year-old child? I mean, it's running everything. And if you don't listen to it, and if you don't pay attention to it, it won't do nothing for you. To connect to we're muscle testing to connect to the subconscious. Our subconscious mind is connected to the superconscious mind, which is our guardian angel. And I was thinking this morning, I thought, I can't talk about angels, we're going to talk about muscle testing. But Sweet Pea says, no, we got to talk about angels. We got to tell one angel story, because I'm very big into the angels, and because of me having 2 near-death experiences, which changed my life. I haven't been the same ever since they entered my life. Okay. Years ago, I was living in Memphis, and it was after I'd moved back from LA, and I had learned to do hypnotherapy, because I knew I could use hypnosis to connect to people's guardian angels, or if that's what I wanted to do. And I had this wonderful young girl that was seeing me at the time. She was about 14. Her parents brought her to me, her stepmother and father, and she just moved back from living with her grandmother, who couldn't take care of her anymore. But she had really low self-esteem, and they were really worried about her, and she wasn't getting along good with the kids in school or with the other children. She had 2 stepsisters, kind of like Cinderella. But anyway, I had several sessions with her, and then one day I took her down, and I do this process when I muscle test, and it's called the EDO Motor. And I tell them, the subconscious mind, to raise their hand for yes, or a finger for yes and a finger for no. And then I start asking yes and no questions. Now I can just muscle test. I don't have to do that. This is before I knew the muscle testing. And it went back to when she was very young, and I was asking some questions, yes and no, and then I could see little tears trickling out of her eyes, and I said, "What's going on, Katie?" And she said, "My parents don't want me." And that was the first time she knew that she was not a wanted child. I think she had had a really rough upbringing by her mother, who was a mess. So she went to live with her grandmother, and then her grandmother sent her to her father, and he's married with, 2 stepdaughters, and she just wasn't fitting in. So she leaves that day. Well, actually, about that time when she said that, my heart went out, and I said, "Oh, guardian angel, I know we're talking to her angel. Can you help me? Can you help me help Katie?" And her hand just almost waved like that. So I was excited. I thought, wow, I hadn't had that happen before, but I knew I was making that connection. So then I went and brought her back up, and her stepmother came and took her home, and not even a week later, her stepmother calls me up and says, "Pam, I want to come and have a session with you." Okay, all right. So she comes in, and we sit down, and she said, "I want to tell you about what happened to me the last time that I had Katie here." And she said, "Katie told me that she heard and figured out in hypnosis that she was not a wanted child." And she said, I knew that, but we hadn't really told her or talked to her about it or anything. But she said, I was kind of surprised, when that conversation came up, because she's kind of young, And I'm going, okay. She said, well, that night, she said, I got in bed, and I'm just laying there ready to drift off. And she said, all of a sudden, it was like my ceiling just opened up, and this huge presence came right down in front of me. And it was just this big ball of light. It was all aglow. And her name was Violet. And she said, it spoke to me, and it said, "Violet, I'm here to help you to take better care of Katie." And then, then it was gone. So, ta-da, okay. That was my first understanding that we do have an angel. It is there. It will help us. We just have to call on it. So that's what we're doing every time we muscle testing. We're calling on our guardian angel, because the subconscious mind is our true connection to the superconscious mind, which is your guardian angel. That's it. And everybody's got one. Comes in with us this lifetime, leaves it with us when we go back every lifetime. We've got this same great angel that's here wanting us to aspire to be like this guardian angel. It wants us to be like it. And, you know, boy, does it have a rough time, too. When coming here, oh, my God, I've got to start all over again. Look at this mess she's created, all this karma. Look at the family karma. So we're starting, you know, from scratch. But once we get it, but once you start muscle testing and you know to enter the kingdom of heaven, you have to be an innocent child. And that's what the subconscious mind is. It has to be innocent. It has to feel innocent. It has to feel loved and protected and that we're watching over. It can't feel guilty. You can't fuss at it and cuss at it and gripe about it. And you've got to protect it and, you know, just know that it needs to know that you're listening to it. Like I listened to Sweet Pea. She wanted to wear a different coat this morning. And our subconscious minds have a name. Our superconscious minds have a name too. So at any time, if you all want to call me later on, I'll be happy to do a session and I'll take you on a journey to meet your child. I think once you don't have to know its name, but when you do, you've got such a great contact with that part of you. And you can go in and say, okay, do you want to eat this today? No. Would you like to lay in bed and watch a movie? Yeah, okay. Or you want to go out and go get a latte this morning? Yes. See, doing things like that, because my inner child wants to play. Of course, what a child wants to do is wants to play. Sometimes they just want to be loved and they just want to be hugged and, you know, and taken care of. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what I share, and I hope that I can get other people interested in this process that I do. You can do it any way you want to. I need for you to change that poster for me so I can keep on track here. I can get really scattered, as you all notice. Okay. Okay, the reason we want to learn self-muscle testing is because it comes through us. We don't have to think, well, it's coming through somebody else. We know we're getting answers. It's coming from our heart. And you get a clearer reading when you do it yourself. If you did 15 minutes a day, just practice it, you, in no time, you would get it. But I don't know how to tell you what to do. If you don't, you just got to say, okay, I'm going to make up my mind. I want to learn this. This is the secret to life. And when I learned this, I'm going, look at those doctors and chiropractors and those health professionals that know how to do this. Do they tell us anything about it? No, they want to learn, keep all the good information to themselves. So I said, no, I'm going to show everybody, teach everyone, this is something that they like, it's their little thing and they don't want anybody to know it, that they can do this, but we can all do it. Because at first I didn't think, well, I could do this, but I did. I learned it. If I can do it, anybody can. Learning the Power Reflex Method, it improves your intuition, which I've said over and over. It will end indecisions. It'll make you able to make a quick decision. Because if you need to ask something and you say, oh, God, I got to find somebody's arm, I got to get a question, you don't have time to do that. You want to do it yourself. And there are so many ways you could go out on the website, and there's all kinds of videos, all kinds of ways to muscle test. You can do the sway test, and you can do the finger testing, and there's different ways to muscle test. This way that I've learned, because I tried these other things and I never felt the pendulum. That's really big. But if you use it over and over again, you'll get it. But this is so much easier. You don't have to take something with you or pull it out of your pocket or hide and make sure nobody's watching you do a pendulum out in public. Oh, they might burn a bridge over here, burn a cross on you. Okay. So I remember one night I was looking for shoes and I was somewhere and I tried on these shoes and I thought, if I don't get the right height of shoes, I'll have to take them back. I've done that before. So I walked over to this lady. I said, lady, would you push my arm down and see what shoes I need to wear? But it was great because actually I did. As soon as I had her push my arm down, it went down and it was saying the shoes I had on were too high. So that was good. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with muscle testing. But that was before I knew this. This was, again, you want to become more intuitive. I think everyone wants to feel like they are intuitive. They're more tapped into their intuition than ever. And we are, and this is one of the ways that we can do it. Just remember, your body can't lie. Your mind will lie about everything, but your body will always tell you the truth. Every minute, 300 million cells in your body are replenishing itself. The body is a miracle of divine power and where science cannot reach. So we are talking to this most unbelievable aspect of us, the body. So that's all this muscle testing is working with our body. Okay, now, I want to talk a little bit about calibrating. I've got a book over here. Dr. David Hawkins, I found his book a few years ago, and I got to meet him. He was an awesome man. He's no longer on the planet. Real funny, and he said we didn't laugh enough. But he wrote this book called Power versus Force. I would highly recommend this book. This book calibrates at 800. That's another thing is you want to find high calibrating things to read. You want to have high calibrating things around you, people around you. But anyway, I read the book a couple of times. That's my second book here, so I would highly recommend this book by Dr. David Hawkins because he's the one that came up with this scale. It's a logarithmic scale, and again from the okay. You know, it starts down here at 20, which is depression, and then goes up to 700 to 1,000. He said 1,000 is the highest that we can go in this lifetime. And when he started learning how to muscle test, and he tested everything, he was a doctor, he was a psychiatrist, and he was working with all these sick people, and he couldn't figure out how some people he could help and some he couldn't. But once he came up with this scale, he knew what level they were at, so he could say, okay, they're at this level. So I know what I'm working with here. And again, I'm going to share with you. I'm going to give you a little test so y'all can see how you are in consciousness, if you are. And again, we want to be at 500, which is love, reverence,